Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.
Southeast Radio.
Well, in recent months, Ireland has welcomed thousands of migrants from the Ukraine as they flee the horrors of their war-torn country. Many refugees in Ireland are vastly experienced in their professions and can make a valuable contribution to Irish businesses. One organisation which is helping to promote this contribution is Purpl Unicorn, and its founder, Dina Vyapuri, joins us now to tell us more. Dina, we'll be discussing Purpl Unicorn and how it has helped displaced migrants and refugees to leverage their professional skills. But first, I'd like to gain an insight into your own background.
Okay, well, I am originally from Mauritius and I relocated to Ireland about 16 years ago. But prior to Ireland, I lived in Australia and I lived also in Malaysia. And I lived in Dublin for about 9 years and then I moved to County Kerry and that's where I am now.
And before we discuss Purpl Unicorn, I just do want to touch upon TechFinder for a moment. Talk to us about why you decided to specialise in cybersecurity recruitment.
Okay, well, I set up TechFinder when I moved to County Kerry from Dublin, and at the time I didn't want to. I didn't want to do the travelling between Limerick and Kerry or Cork. So I was working within tech recruitment at the time, and I decided I spotted that the market for cybersecurity was something that was going to boom in the next couple of years. So I went ahead and specialized within cyber, and I wanted to, I suppose, differentiate myself from other companies that was offering, other agencies, and went niche. And yeah, so it seems that it kind of worked well.
So what prompted you then to establish Purpl Unicorn?
Okay, so for the number of years I've been working, placing cybersecurity talent within TechFinder, what I have noticed is there was, I could count on my fingers how many female representative, female talent I was placing. And there is a talent shortage in tech and in tech and cybersecurity, and more so female representation of within that industry as well. So I went ahead and I wanted to do something about it, and not only just the skills gap, but also the gender balance. And I started first with a pilot project for women, and more specifically for displaced migrant women. And once the pilot was over, I only had about 10 spots for the pilot and I had 200 applicants. So on the back of that, I decided to set up Purpl Unicorn.
So with the Ukrainian invasion from Russia, we are all acutely aware of the plight of refugees, but with particular reference to the Ukrainians which have arrived here in Ireland over the past few months, perhaps you can provide us with an insight into the breadth of their own skills.
Okay, so with the Ukrainians, a lot of the women that have come would have a lot of, experience. So I have seen within cybersecurity, there's people from Ukraine with that skill set, especially within cyber, because, the Ukrainians would have been quite kind of famous, not famous, but we know that they do have the talent within cyber in Ukraine and also in Russia and also different places. Within tech as well, a lot of companies would have outsourced prior to the invasion into Ukraine in technology. So if I'm talking in terms of tech talent, definitely there's a pool, a good number of pool of people within that spec there.
And outside of IT, what other skills are most prevalent?
Professionals, you will get, I suppose, people who are teachers, engineers, all walks of professional industry. But also there are, some of them that don't have a specific, professions experience as well. So they will be more into, some of them would be coming from retail as well. And some of them may be more, some of them probably wouldn't have much experience. It depends where they're coming from and what area in Ukraine they're coming from as well. So we have a big of a mix.
So what process do you follow when working with a displaced migrant or refugee?
Okay, so our process normally is that we work with other NGOs that support displaced migrants. So it could be the Irish Refugee Council or it could be the Court Migrant, different organizations, and also some of them would be the refugee centers as well, and where we kind of communicate our offerings in terms of training, and we would get people who would have already went through all the other supports that they need, and when they're ready to go and I suppose are ready to embrace employment, and we take them from there on. So they would already have the English to a good level of communication and writing. And from there on, we take them on our course. It depends what they want to do because we have several courses running. So we would normally do, it could be a psychometric test to make sure that, they fit the course that they will go into. And we support them all the way right to employment.
And apart from language barriers, which may cause challenges for our migrants coming into Ireland in terms of seeking employment, what are the other challenges that have to be overcome?
Yeah, well, a lot of them, when they come in, they don't necessarily know the job market here in Ireland. So they probably don't know where to go, what to do, who to approach. There's not that much support for them. And it depends where they're actually currently, I suppose, where they are. If they are within, within the center, the refugee center, then, they could be in rural places. So they won't really have much option in terms of employment. And if they do have employment option, then they could be in rural places where there's no buses or, logistics to get to work. They could have issues with internet if it's remote working. So there's a lot of other issues that they come across. And so those would be barriers as well. And another barrier is even if they have very good experience and they are professional in their own right from coming here, but sometimes they are offered lower end job rather than something that's equivalent to what they're coming with.
So what type of training programs do you offer to migrants to provide them with the necessary skills for the Irish workplace?
Okay, so we specialize in emerging tech. So they would be upskilling, reskilling within cybersecurity, AI, machine learning. We do data analytics, and also we are starting a tech support course in September.
And what qualifications are on offer with those programs?
So those are programs that are run by the industry. So we are IBM partner and also ServiceNow partners. So the programs that we have would be from the, they are industry-led programs. And a lot of the bootcamp that we run as well have mentorship, and they will be mentored as well by professionals within the industry from the tech companies that actually are partnered with us.
And how receptive are Irish employers to recruiting displaced migrants and refugees?
Okay, so now they're a little bit more open. I think when I started, it was a little bit slow. It depends, what companies they are and what they're doing, what industry they are in. But things are changing in the right way. I think the issue really is that they don't necessarily have the relevant information to in terms of the rights to work of displaced migrants. And I think that's where the issue is. Sometimes, they don't have the right information and maybe feel that it's a longer process when, or don't, they don't know where to start really. But yeah, things are moving in the right direction, I think.
So do you want to take this opportunity to dispel any myths in relation to that area?
Well, a lot of the time I get, they don't have the right to work in Ireland. Yes, they do. Anyone who is here, who legally entered Ireland, there's been changes done. Now they have to wait 6 months and then they get the right to work. Obviously, they'll need a letter from the employer. But yes, everyone who have got the right to work in Ireland, who have entered, legally into Ireland.
That's good to know. And talk to us about some of your success stories over the years.
Okay, so we successfully ran the pilot program for migrant women, and we have placed people already working within the industry. Some of them are still in the same company as the last 2 years. I have now at the moment some of them that's finished the cybersecurity bootcamp, and they're at interviews at the moment. And we just finished the ServiceNow program, and they're interviewing at the moment as well to be placed. And all of them will be hired.
And finally, Dina, I'd like you to take this opportunity to outline to employers here in the southeast of Ireland why they should be more open-minded when it comes to employing refugees and migrants.
I think I look at it as giving an opportunity to someone who really wants to make change, okay? Because I don't think a lot of the displaced migrants came here not because they decided, they just want to, it's not like coming on holidays or you decide you're just moving country. I mean, they did it because they had good reason for them to move. And they also come with a lot of experience, and we are talking a lot about diversity and inclusion at the moment, DEI, and they bring a lot of experience, a lot of exposure, and they have valuable skills and also the willingness to work, and they will accept an opportunity and really be loyal to the company who actually gives them that opportunity.
Well, if you've just tuned in, that was Dina Vyapuri from Purpl Unicorn, and I do hope that employers provide much-needed job opportunities to the displaced migrants in the coming months.
Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Carl Fitzpatrick.
South